Okay, so for number one, we have the fraction of 3/49. And what we're going to do is divide 3 by 49 to get the decimal, which will give you 0.0612. To get the percentage, you're going to multiply that by 100, which equals 6.12%. And the ratio is going to be the fraction, which is 3 to 49. And you always want to get the ratio, and you always want to reduce it to the smallest fraction. And you would do that by finding a number that goes into both numbers equally. So in this case, 3/49 is going to be the smallest numbers. 3 and 49 will be the smallest numbers that go into both numbers equally. So for the number 2, we start off with 4.8%. Now, for 4.8%, we're going to divide by 100 to make that into 0.048. Because when you're going from a decimal to a percentage, you're going to multiply, but when you're going from a percentage to a decimal, you're going to divide. So we know that that's the tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. So what you would do here is 48 as a fraction over 1,000. Now you're going to reduce that to the smallest fraction you can by finding a number that goes evenly into both. So we're going to divide it by 2 on both sides, which will give us 24 over 500. We're going to divide it by 2 again, which will give us 12 over 250. And divide it one more time by 2 to give us 6 over 125. So your ratio is going to be 6 to 125. So for number 3, we have a decimal of 0.078. And remember, when you're going from a decimal to a percentage, you multiply by 100. So that would give you 7.8%. And now we look at it, tenths, hundredths, thousandths place. So we have 78 over 1,000. Now 2 will go into both evenly. So we divide by 2, which will give us 39 over 500. Nothing goes into both of those equally. So our ratio is going to be 39 to 500. Okay, so for the give the first 5 administrations within their initial time, starting with T. Okay, so for number 1, we have Q6H, which is every 6 hours, with the first time being at 7 a.m. So we're going to write it out in military time, because you don't ever use traditional time, because it can get confusing and you don't want them to miss a dose by confusing 7 a.m. with 7 p.m. So you always want to use military time. So you do 0700 with today's date. And 7 hours from that is going to be 1 o'clock. So it'll be 1300 with today's date. Then 7 hours from that will be 1900 with today's date. And then we'll be back at 07. We'll be at 1 a.m. So it'll be 0100 with tomorrow's date. And then we'll be back at 0700 by the morning with tomorrow's date. So with number 2, it's going to be every 4 hours, starting at 2 p.m. Okay, so we're going to do 1400 for 2 p.m. Then we'll do 4 hours from that, which would be 6 p.m. at 1800. 4 hours from that would be 10 p.m. at 2200. 4 hours from that will be 0200. And 4 hours from that will be 0600. And that will be with today's date. Today's date, tomorrow, and tomorrow. Okay, so for number 3, it's every 8 hours. We're going to start off at 11 a.m. So it'll be 11 a.m. with today's date. 8 hours from that will be 1900, which is 7 o'clock with today's date. 8 hours from that will be 0300 with tomorrow's date. And then it will be back at 11 a.m. and back at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So for number 4, it's every day with a time of 5 p.m. So it'll be 1700 all the way through. Today, tomorrow, the following day, and so on. And that's how the first page is gonna look. Okay, so for number 1, we're gonna change milligrams into grams. So you're gonna do 150 divided by 1,000, which equals 0.15. So for number 2, we have 58 grams into milligrams. We're going to do 58 multiplied by 1,000, and that's going to give you 58,000. For number 3, we have 2.75 kilograms, and we're going to make that into grams. So you do 2.75, multiply that by 1,000. That's going to give you 2,750 grams. So for number 4, we have 0.505 milligrams, and we're going to turn that into grams. So use 0.505, divide that by 1,000, and that's going to give you 0.000505. For number 5, we have 10.8 milligrams. We're going to turn that into kilograms. So 10.8 divided by 1,000, divided by 1,000 one more time, and that's going to give you 0.00000108. Okay, so for number 6, we have 1.54 micrograms. We're going to turn that into grams. So we do 1.54 divided by 1,000, divided by 1,000, which will give you 0.00000154 grams. Okay, we have 650 milligrams. We're going to turn that into kilograms. So you do 650 divided by 1,000, divided by 1,000, which will give you 0.00065. Number 8, we have 15 micrograms. We're going to turn that into grams. So you do 15 divided by 1,000, divided by 1,000, which will give you 0.000015. We have 1.25 liters. We're turning that into milliliters. 1.25 multiplied by 1,000, which will give you 1,250. Number 10, we have 90 milliliters. We're going to turn that into liters. So now we're going to divide 90 divided by 1,000, which will give you 0.09. Okay, so for number 12, you have 3.75 pints equals blank ml. Well, 1 pint equals 480 ml. So you do, and you need 3.7 pints. So you do 3.75, you multiply it by 480, you divide it by the amount you need, which is 1, and your answer is going to be 1,800. Okay, so for number 13, we have 9.5 tablespoons equals blank ml. 1 tablespoon equals 15 ml, so you're going to do 9.5 times 15. So 9.5 times 15, and then you divide it by the amount of tablespoons you need, which is 1, equals 142.5. Okay, so for number 14, we have 25 ml equals blank teaspoons. Well, 5 ml is equivalent to 1 teaspoon, and we need 25 ml. So you're going to do 25 times 1 divided by 5, which equals 5. So number 15, we have 30 ml, which is equivalent to 1 ounce. We need 250 ml. 250 ml equals blank ounces. So you do 250 times 1 divided by the amount we need, which equals 8.333. So for number 16, we have 1,500 ml equals blank tablespoons. So we know 15 ml is equivalent to 1 tablespoon. So you do 1,500 times 1 divided by the amount we need, which is 15 ml, which gives you 100 tablespoons. Okay. Okay, so for deciphering the 6, we're going to take 2.5 ml by mouth every 6 hours. For number 2, ISUPPPVQAM times 7D, you insert 1 suppository vaginally every morning for 7 days. Okay, for number 3, 0.2 ml IDQPM, inject 0.2 ml intradermally every morning. Every evening, I'm sorry. Every evening. Okay, so for number 4, we have 250 ml IV ATC. Inject 250 ml intravenously around the clock. Okay, number 5, we have 12 ml IVP QHS PRN GERD. Infuse 12 ml through an intravenous push at bedtime as needed for GERD. Okay. Number 6, we have 70 to 80 unit SCTID PC. Inject 70 to 80 units subcutaneously 3 times a day after meals. Okay. Okay, so if your supply is 100 milligrams per tablet and your order is 50 milligrams by mouth 3 times a day for 7 days, you would take 1/2 tablet by mouth 3 times a day for 7 days. And then to find out how many tablets you need, 50 milligrams is 1/2. So you do 0.5 to symbolize 1/2. And you take it 3 times a day, so you multiply that by 3. And you're going to do it for 7 days, so you multiply it by 7, which will equal 10.5 tablets. So you're going to give 11 tablets. So for number 2, you take you have supply 5 milligrams per tablet. Your order is for 2.5 milligrams by mouth every day for 7 days, then 5 milligrams by mouth twice a day for 14 days. So you take 1/2 tablet by mouth daily for 7 days, then take 1 tablet by mouth twice daily for 14 days. And how the math for this will look is 0.5 to symbolize 1/2 tablet times once a day times 7 days, which equals 3.5. And then you would do 1 tablet times 2 for twice a day for 14 days, multiply it by 14, which equals 28. And you add those together for 31.5. So you need 32 tablets. For number 3, your supply is 0.125 milligrams per tablet, and your order is for 250 micrograms by mouth every other day for 30 days. So we know 0.125, we're going to do a conversion. You multiply it by 1,000, which will give you 125 milligrams. So that would be 2 tablets. So you take 2 tablets by mouth every morning. I'm sorry. Every other day. Every other day for 30 days. So the math for that would be 2 tablets, right? Times 15, because you're doing every other day for 30 days. So it'd be a total of 15 days, and you do 30 tablets total. Okay. Okay, so for page 5, number 4, your supply is 125 milligrams per 15 ml. The order is for 250 milligrams by mouth every morning and every night at bedtime for 10 days. So you would, of course, divide by 2. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. So 125 times 2 is 250. 15 ml times 2 will be 30 ml. So you do 30 ml by mouth every morning and every night at bedtime for 10 days. So you'll decipher it by saying take 30 ml by mouth every morning and at bedtime for 10 days. So you'll do the math by doing 30 ml, and you're gonna multiply it by 2 because you take it twice a day. Then you multiply it by 10 because you do it for 10 days, which equals 600 milliliters. So your amount that you're gonna need total is 600 ml. So for number 5, you have 30 milligram tablets on hand. Your order is for 45 milligrams by mouth twice a day for 10 days. So what you would do is 30 goes into 45 1.5 times. So that means you have 1.5 tablets. So it's 1.5 tablets. Okay. So you'll write it out by take 1.5 tablets by mouth twice daily for 10 days. And you'll do the math by 1.5 times 2, because you take it twice a day, times 10, which equals 30. Your total is going to be 30 tablets. So, orders and supply, find the estimated day supply, decipher the SIG. So you have on hand your supply, 50 milligrams per tablet. Your order is half a tablet by mouth 3 times a day, and they give you 12 tablets. So you'll write it as take 1/2 tablet by mouth 3 times a day, and you'll do the math. 0.5, which symbolizes half, times 3 equals 1.5 tablets per day. And then you have a total of 12 tablets, so you do 12 divided by 1.5, which equals 8. So it's an 8-day supply. For number 2, you have on supply 25 milligrams per tablet. The order is for 12.5 milligrams by mouth QID, which is 4 times a day, and they give you 20 tablets. So you take 1/2 tablet by mouth 4 times a day. 0.5 times 4 equals 2 tablets a day. And you have a total of 20. So it's 20 divided by 2, which equals 10-day supply. Okay. So for number 3, your supply is 5 milligrams per tablet. Your order is 10 milligrams by mouth every 6 hours as needed. So you know this is 2 tablets. So take 2 tablets by mouth every 6 hours as needed. And you'll do the math. 2 tablets times 4, because 6 hours is in 24 hours 4 times, which equals 8 tablets per day. And you have a total of 50 tablets. So you divide it by 8 times a day, which equals 6.25 days. So you're going to give a 6-day supply. Number 4, you have 250 milligrams per 5 ml. Your order is 1 to 2 tablespoons by mouth every 4 hours as needed. They gave you a pint. So the first thing that we're going to do is decipher 1 to 2 tablespoons is going to be 15 to 30 ml. And you'll write that out. Take 1 to 2 tablespoons by mouth every 4 hours as needed. So the first thing we're gonna do is convert 1 pint is equivalent to 480 ml. So then here, we're gonna always pick the highest amount with the most frequencies. So we're gonna do 30 times 6, assuming that they're gonna always take the most, which equals 180 ml per day. And we know we have 480 ml that we're giving. We're going to divide it by 180, which equals 2.67 days. So we're going to give them a 3-day supply. Okay, so number 5, we have 125 ml. The order is for 250 milligrams. We have 125 milligrams per 15 ml. The order is for 250 milligrams by mouth every morning and every night. And we have a half a pint now. So the last one was a pint, 480. We know this is 240. So we'll just put that in there right now. And 250 milligrams is going to be 30 ml. And we know because 15 ml is 125 milligrams, so this is 30 ml. And we're just gonna do that now because you always wanna convert and also wanna give take the information that you're given. So we're going to convert first. So answer B would be take 30 ml by mouth every morning and at bedtime. So you'll do the math, 30 times 2, because it's 30 milliliters twice a day, which equals 60 ml per day. And then we have 240 ml, half a pint, and you're going to divide that by 60, which equals a 4-day supply. Okay, and that's how that should look. Okay, so I'm going to put a side note right here that A or B is for medical doctors or doctors. C is for FNPs, nurse practitioners, or physician's assistants. D is for PhD, okay? So that gives us some type of insight as to what the letters mean. And the first letter is always going to be one of these. And the second letter is always going to be the first letter of their last name. So for instance, this one is going to be A, J. And what you would do is you're going to add the first letter, the first number, the third number, and the fifth number. So the first one will look like this: 9 plus 4 plus 4 equals 17. And then you'll do 6 plus 5 plus 5. So 6 plus 5 plus 5, which equals 16. You multiply that by 2, which equals 32. You add the 17 to it, which gives you 49. And the last number should be 9. Okay, so the next one is going to be B, D, and then you do 5 plus 4 plus 7. So 5 plus 4 plus 7. And then you do 7 plus 1 plus 5. 7 plus 1 plus 5. This equals 16. This equals 13. Multiplied by 2, which gives you 26 plus 16 equals 42. So this one is going to be a 2. Okay. So let's do it again. We have a PhD right here, so that's going to be D. Last name starts with the E. And then we're going to do 8 plus 6 plus 5. So 8 plus 6 plus 5. And then we're going to do 7 plus 0 plus 2. 7 plus 0 plus 2. 8 plus 6 plus 5 equals 19. 7 plus 0 plus 2 equals 9 times 2, which equals 18. You add the 19 to it, which gives you 37. So the last digit is going to be a 7. So number 4, we have another PhD. So we're going to do D. The last name starts with the B, so we're going to do a B. And for this one, it's going to be 7 plus 4 plus 5. 7 plus 4 plus 5, which equals 16. And then we're going to do 1 plus 4 plus 7. 1 plus 4 plus 7, which equals 12. You multiply that by 2, equals 24 plus 16, which equals 40. So the last digit is going to be a 0. So we have an F and P right here. Last name starts with the D. This one's going to be C, D. And then you do 6 plus 4 plus 5. 6 plus 4 plus 5, which equals 15. Let me do this so you can see it better. Okay, which equals 15. And then you're going to do 9 plus 1 plus 3. So 9 plus 1 plus 3, which equals 13 times 2, which equals 26. You add the 15, and your total is going to be 41. So the last number is going to be a 1. Okay, so for number 6, we have Teddy Sky, which is an NP. So that's going to be CS. And we're going to do 8 plus 7 plus 4, because you skip every other number. So 8 plus 7 plus 4, which equals 19. And then we're going to do 7 plus 1 plus 3. So 7 plus 1 plus 3, which equals 11. You multiply that by 2, which equals 22, plus 19, which will give you 41. So the last digit is going to be a 1. Okay, so number 7 is Sandy Nash, which is a PA. So she gets CN. 7 plus 0 plus 5. 7 plus 0 plus 5, which equals 12. And then 3 plus 2 plus 3. 3 plus 2 plus 3, which equals 8. Times that by 2, which gives you 16, plus 12, which gives you 28. So the last digit's going to be an 8. Okay. So then for number 8, we have another PhD. Excuse me. So that's going to be a D and an A. And we have 8 plus 0 plus 5. So 8 plus 0 plus 5. 8 plus 0 plus 5, which equals 13. And then we have 6 plus 0 plus 3. So 6 plus 0 plus 3, which equals 9, times 2, which equals 18, plus 13, which equals 31. So there's going to be a 1 at the end. Okay. So for the last 3, we have an MD that has a DA number AH, which is correct, 5045125. So how we will do number 1 is 5 plus 4 plus 1 equals 10. 0 plus 5 plus 2 equals 7. Multiply the 7 times 2, which equals 14. 10 plus 14 equals 24. So you know this one is wrong. That should be a 4. Okay? So for number 2, right? We have F&P, Bonnie McKee. So the C is correct, but the K is wrong. That should be an M. And now let's see if the math is right. So we're going to do 5 plus 1 plus 6, which equals 12. And then we're going to do 2 plus 4 plus 5, which equals 11, multiplied by 2, which equals 22. 12 plus 22 equals 34. So we know that one is wrong as well. That should be a 4 as well. Okay, so number 3. We have the DEA number, and they are MD, Sandy. It starts off with the B, so that's right. Last name starts with W, so that's right. Okay, so now what we do is 1 plus 6 plus 8, which equals 15. 0 plus 4 plus 9, which equals 13. Multiply 13 by 2, which gives you 26. 15 plus 26 equals 41. And you know this is wrong because that should be a 1.